Guys, I just don't know why people use toothpaste like from the top and from the sideways or from the middle of
That's
the tube.
exactly what I did.
Hi everyone, welcome to this perfect mess. My name is Shiro Juguna,
And I'm Dennis.
and we are back with another episode. And this one is going to be a little bit of story time and also like the things that we did for our first meeting. And yeah,
For our long distance, obviously, relationship. So watch the other video about the subject. And so we'll just share a little bit of experience. So hopefully it will help, someone else that is going through the same long distance relationship.
Yeah, and I also hope that people have fun watching it.
Yeah, well, that's what you hope, right?
We always hope that they have fun watching it. And thank you for everybody that has been watching our videos, subscribing, leaving like really nice comments. We are so grateful. And we're going to be sharing like everything that we did to meet up, and also we will brush through the safety tips of how to, after you've met someone online, you've been talking for some time, you've had to deal with long distance, if it's in your case a long distance relationship. And also like at the end of it we will make another video of how like all the safety measures that you can take.
Yeah, because we kind of like try to rehearse a little bit, and it seems like there's a lot of safety tips that can go into one video. So instead of making this one really long, we'll make a separate one. So please, subscribe, and we'll definitely post it in the near future. So
Right.
do you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had been talking, I think, for about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And then before Dennis planned to come, of course, for me, if he told me to go to the US, that would be scary. It's not something that...
Yeah, I personally would think that this is kind of like, coming to a foreign country is like a scary thing, like you said, and it's kind of like you don't feel as secure as you are at home, obviously. So I would definitely expect for a guy to make this first move, this first plunge. So I'm sure there are some cases when women can go too, especially if we're talking about like, countries where when you know more about it. Let's say if you were living in UK and I was living in US, it would be easy for you to come. But because we're talking about such different places, like everything, climate, culture, everything, like US and Kenya. So I think that it's better if the guy kind of makes the first move and comes to visit Kenya. The third option would be if both people kind of not visit, but meet at like a neutral territory. But I've never done that before. It obviously involves a lot of planning, and also kind of like might be uncomfortable for both if that doesn't work. It means what are you gonna do, that kind of stuff. But yeah, for me, again, the best scenario would be for a guy to make this first plunge and kind of like volunteer this trip himself.
I know there is the equality thing, but I feel like it's safer-ish for a guy than it is for a woman. So anyways, so he started planning coming, and it was a mix, I'd say a good mix of fun and anxiety.
Well, sure.
First of all, because I had never dated someone outside of this country, and most of the people that I had dated,
they were
I had
local
known,
Kenyans, right?
and I had known them beforehand, so there was no question of, okay, what if? Of course, you always have those what ifs. Like what if someone is psychotic and they can kill you? What if this and this happen? But now when it's someone who is like from 9,000 miles away, first of all, he was the first white guy that I dated, so I didn't even know like what the cultural difference would bring. And second of all, it's the first, I'd say, long distance I had done. And
it's almost the opposite part of the planet that I flew in. Clearly, I understand totally, like, obviously, guys, before you go into this planning stage, make sure that you trust the person. Kind of like, before you go to sleep, probably just shut your eyes and kind of think about it. Like, would I be comfortable if this guy was next to me, or if this gal, would I trust them, and if you have at least like any doubts, definitely kind of like rethink it. But with her, I have no doubts. I was absolutely confident, in my decision. And, But again, we'll return to this in the safety tips.
Yeah. So for me, I was at a point where I was comfortable, but I was really anxious. I think I have like really high anxiety, and also I overthink. You know, if you if especially you watch news, you know, like you don't want to end up in the news like having been murdered by some boyfriend. You know, like I had this trust, but also it's someone that you have never met like in person. So, and also knowing that I would have to spend the night I would go pick him up at the airport and also spend the night with him. I'd never lived with a man before, so that was also something huge.
You obviously dated someone, but you've never like moved in with them.
Yes,
so, okay.
yes. So this was a whole mix of fast, and to be honest, like, even talking about it, I was just like, oh my God, should I be excited? Should I be? Do you remember like a day or two before you left, I was even crying.
Like the worst, it's a mix, right? You kind of like, you're excited to see this person that you love and you care about, but then like all those like overthinking moments. Yeah. To be honest with you, not having any anxiety would probably mean that someone is like a psychopath or there's like a problem with them. Obviously you have some anxiety, especially before such a big move and such kind of like important meeting, you know. Because you clearly, obviously guys, before you come to this point, you have to be sure that this is the person that you want to meet, this is the one, you know. And if you have like some doubts, like, oh, you know what, like he did something, so now I'm not sure, that's kind of like a huge red flag. So maybe delay. Ideally you wouldn't lead to the point of like a few days before the flight, because obviously have some respect for the person that's coming, because they had to buy the tickets, they had to do all the arrangements, you know, so it's a big involvement for him as well. I should say for the other person. And so luck, hopefully with luck you won't have any reservations, any doubts, so it will just be like perfect, except obvious anxiety, like you know,
which is
Shira was
really
saying,
normal.
Yeah, it's a normal thing.
So even like going for a first date when you know someone,
I'm sure you know, you've been
those
there.
Things of, So anyways, we started planning his coming, and we had made this list of fun activities and fun places that we wanted to go. We had gone through the back and forth of checking Airbnbs where we wanted to stay for that moment. And
this is important. Now we'll make again a separate video, not to cram all of it into one, how to pick like the best Airbnb in Kenya, and I'll do the same for US in case you're coming to US. And also, you know, just those little kind of like minutia, like how do you get from the airport, you know, how to get an Uber, how to make, you know, the prices, how you pay, probably how to, you know, get to Kenya in the first place if you're a foreigner, let's say US, UK, Canada, you know, Western basically countries. So we'll make a separate one. So, but definitely planning Airbnb, don't rely on the guy, or don't say like I'll do it myself. It's very fun to do it like together, because as a foreigner you won't know the area, so you definitely have to rely on your, you know, on your fiance, spouse, you know, or like the date to suggest, you know, which place would be safe or like better. Because, you know, there are certain neighborhoods in Kenya that are better than others, right? I'm sorry, in Nairobi. So, all that stuff is important, and also really, really fun when you kind of like, you know, look at pictures and like, oh, that would be so nice to spend like time with her here, you know. Sometimes some people would prefer hotels, because, you know, the downside of getting an Airbnb is that you will have to do all the housekeeping and stuff, you know, all the cleaning that if you had to. Although there are ways to hire, you know, house help, so we'll again refer to the different other video.
We have a lot coming.
Yeah, we have a lot, you know, to cover. But the upside with the hotel is that all the room service is covered, so you get like breakfast in bed, you get like, you know, room service, they'll clean the bed, all that kind of stuff. The downside of the hotel is that obviously it's more expensive, so it depends on your budget. So
we are planning to meet. The first meeting, it was around the end of October last year, because you landed on the 31st. 31st of October, and it was like 2 weeks to my birthday, and all the calculations, I was thinking, oh my God, I hope he's a good person, I hope he doesn't kill me before my birthday. I hope, you know, like how you think, okay, so if he kills me, this is how the news are going to read, like a girl was killed by, anyways. that would come and then that would go. But I remember like the day before he came, I was really anxious. I was crying. I was thinking, oh my God, I hope this is not a mistake. I know it, because you've invested.
Yeah.
Let me tell you guys, even if you've been talking with someone online and you'll tell me in the comment section, there's this attachment. You always look forward to the time you talk to, and even breaking that, if you decide, okay, we are not meeting, that's like a real breakup, because you're really invested. You just like this person, you've shared so much.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Obviously, right now, what Shiro is talking is like the final stage, right before the trip itself. But obviously, it would take you probably like a month, right? It took us to plan everything, to coordinate, to like see what we will be doing. You know, obviously, the person that's coming will have to take some time off. That's kind of like a downside of all this whole thing. In US, people don't usually get like long vacations. So for me, I was able to get like a couple weeks, I think, at the time. But you know, oh no, I'm wrong. I was able to get all the time in the world because I'm working remotely. But you know, my first trip, I couldn't do that because I had a job, which meant, you know, 9 to 5, and you had to go to like a physical office. So I could get like, you know, a couple weeks, I think. So that's a major downside, major pooper basically in your plans. But at least, you know, obviously share. And ideally, if there are any issues, you would cancel that trip at the early stage, not like at the last stage, because if you cancel it at the last stage, it might break up the whole relationship. And again, because again, like for the guy that's coming, obviously he put money in, and or you both put the money in, and you just kind of like, obviously, you know, money can ruin everything at this point. So if you lose your tickets, but definitely understand your anxiety. I mean, I didn't have this kind of thing, but still, when you come to a foreign country, you think like, what if, you know? Obviously, at this point, I'm assuming that you went through all the safety tips that we will, you know, post in a separate video. But it is fun, you know. Still, even though there's some anxiety, you kind of like imagine that, okay, there's this person that I'm going to meet. I love
at the end of it,
her.
So for me, I think, and also I had questions of, I had seen him, of course, on video call, but you know, I had his driver's license. I knew he was 5'8". I was trying to think, so how tall is 5'8"? Who is 5'8"?
Converting
you know,
to centimeters.
And also, you've never smelled this person. They could show up and they smell like a garbage can. So that's also a concern. Like, you know, the small things that you go into and you're thinking, guy, what am I doing? You know.
No, it's important because, you know, like, well, we all lived in, you know, within like, what, 2 years of this COVID, and we've all done this Zoom, you know, meetings and stuff. There's something that's missing, you know, like, for instance, you don't know how tall the person is, how heavy they are, you know. I mean, you know, all these things. Or how does the person smell? I mean, this is obviously like, if you no, seriously, if you meet someone in person, like for like a regular date, you would know all this stuff, right? So, but here you talk to someone for like, I don't know, like 6 months, or you know, time.
You're attached, but you don't know how they smell.
But
so
it's important, you know. If someone smells like a garbage truck, which I probably did when I flew for 30 hours, you know. She's really nice. Well, can you imagine, like, just a little tangent, like, you guys go on a date, right? You just, like, you clean up, you put some cologne, perfume.
It's like your best of best.
Best. And then it takes you, like, I don't know, like, an hour, in the worst case, to actually meet her. You know, you probably smell nice, and your clothes is still, like, nicely ironed and stuff. But picture that you left, and then you have to travel for 30 hours. Go through customs, you know, go through like Europe customs, then Kenyan customs, which are the best. And then, you meet her. You come out, you're like, where is up and where is down, you know? But anyway.
No, but you're not smelly.
Well, thank you.
That's like, for real. You're not, he still had, going on to the tangent, he still had his cologne that he had worn like 2 days prior, and that's like one of the attachments that I have, because even when he left for like 2 weeks, like a month ago, the thing that I would like, you know, like how you enter someone's closet and you feel the smell of their cologne and you're like, I know that smell. It's like really nice. So anyway,
thank you.
So it got to the day before the meeting. Now I had,
you know, sorry, let me just give them one tip. Like, in case you are flying long distance, well, any kind of a flying, the way to keep yourself fresh, obviously you're human, you will be like, sweating and, there's no way you can preserve yourself in a clean state. But what you can do, get a t-shirt, like roll it up, get some, wet wipes, some tissues, and basically use any bathroom, even like in Kenya, for instance, you can use the bathroom stall, and just, replace the t-shirt, clean yourself with the wet wipes, and just have a small stick of deodorant, and it won't make you fresh as if you took the shower. You won't be like that, but at least you won't smell like a garbage can. So anyway, babes, go ahead. So
wow, that's good too. Anyways, so yeah, the day before I had, of course, to move out from where I was living, and that was something else. I don't know about you guys, but I get really attached to places that I've lived and to people. I was living with a lady that was a friend of mine before, and the mom had rented me some space. And also at that time, we had become best friends. And even right now, we're like best of friends. We had shared so much time and space. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to live with someone that I really love. But also here is a family that has been family to me. I don't know even how people move out. So anyways, I had to move out, and I also had to go to the Airbnb with her, Sheena, thank you so much. And one of my friends also came over, Caro. She came over, we spent the night together, and they were asking me all these questions. So what's your concern? Like, are you scared? Are you this? I'm like, well, I have anxiety, but I also hope that he doesn't squeeze the toothpaste from anywhere, because just don't know why people use toothpaste from the top and from the sideways or from the middle of the
That's exactly what I did, right?
And then I just told them, at least that one we can solve. If he uses toothpaste the wrong way, he's going to get his own toothpaste. Luckily, he came with his own toothpaste, and when I saw it, I was like, thank you for bringing yours. I can't share.
It's a good, actually, guys, tell me, how do you go little by little, or you just kind of it's an interesting poll. I'm not sure if we can do it, but leave a comment. How do you use your toothpaste? You just squeeze whatever you can?
If you squeeze wherever you can, I feel like I have this imagination. Guys, I am probably the queen of overthinking, but when someone squeezed the toothpaste from everywhere, I feel like someone was putting their fingers. I know the tube is too small. I feel like it's dirty, someone was putting their fingers. I have all these imaginations, so I like my toothpaste used properly, bottom up.
That's good. I'm actually trying to learn from the master, but yeah, we need to mention that we did pick an Airbnb to stay originally. Kind of I think it's the middle ground. So because if the girl, in this case, let's say the local invites you to their place, you don't know how big the house is. They might be living with someone else. Space. Yeah, the thing is okay, you might have different living kind of accommodations. Let's say if someone comes from a city, and let's say the girl is from a village. I'm not saying that you were in the city, but let's say if you lived far away from the city, it will be difficult for one person to adjust to a different lifestyle. So I would suggest getting an Airbnb somewhere in the city, kind of like the middle ground, so you can, connect that way. Also, if the worst happens and if you kind of don't connect, you can always kind of go your separate ways. In this case, the girl can go home and you can stay in the Airbnb and kind of
get ready.
Also, definitely advise get your return ticket. Again, it's just obviously kind of a safety tip. If you decide to stay longer, you can always kind of cancel it, and you can get some money back. But for the first visit, I would suggest definitely making kind of a short visit so that you can meet and kind of learn each other. And then next, if you definitely clicked, well, obviously if you clicked right away, you can cancel it. But if you clicked, you can plan the second visit, which will also be very, very fun. And so that's kind of my observation from the side of the person that was, making that plunge. And the second thing I want to say is, I'm sorry, Sheena, for stealing your neighbor, but I totally get it, how you live with someone, you get used to, and they're nice people. So
the night before, and it was on Saturday, and he was landing on Sunday. So we went to church. I wanted to kill as much time as possible at church so that like the waiting is not as long, because when you're idle. So I came from church, freshened up. No, like went to sleep, napping. And then like I woke up, it was like 7 p.m. I had to freshen up. You know, you want to look your best first of all, but also you're like, I don't want to overdo it. Yeah. So I just wore my black jeans and I was in all black. That's like my go-to fashion when I just don't want to.
Oh, sure, you want to be comfortable, right? And not and be also good looking, so which is kind of like a compromise.
So yeah, I
no, you looked awesome. Like I came out, you know, and first of all, you're like dazed and confused. You pass through customs, you know, you have those bags, and you smell like a garbage truck. And despite of all the tips I gave you, and then I see this cute girl that's running up to me. I kind of like, I can recognize the face, and I'm like, oh my God, she's so good looking and she's nice, you know. So yeah, we definitely clicked, I think, from the first time we saw each other.
Yeah, and also, now another tip for the girl that is receiving someone, right? At the airport, they don't sell flowers. So if you want to give something flowers, the second time I was going to pick him up, like 3 weeks ago, I met a lady, and she was going to pick her boyfriend for the first time, and she saw me carrying flowers, and she was like, oh my God, I didn't even remember. That was me the first time. I didn't even think about anything that I can buy. I didn't think about flowers. I didn't think about anything. I just showed up empty-handed as I come. So if you want to get him flowers, you can, or just something you can get, like something that they like in case of deadlifts, you can get, if you have someone that likes ice cream with all of their heart.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's a good idea.
You can get them ice cream or just something, but just know it's not sold at the airport, so you have to get it from wherever.
You can't get much at the airport. It's kind of like, unfortunately, I'm not sure why people in Kenya didn't think about this. You can make a lot of money on this kind of thing.
I want to know how people start businesses at the airport, especially flowers. Anyways,
you can make a killing, definitely.
Yeah, but my point is, if you want to get anything, just get it from outside. So I showed up empty-handed, but I stood there also because it took him time, I think, to clear with the customs. I was video calling with my friends. Felicia, thank you. I always run to you when I have my problem.
Yeah, just to kind of like finish this thought, I definitely didn't need flowers or anything else for the first time. Obviously, I wanted to see her, so flowers, it was kind of like a secondary. To be honest with you, I've never been given flowers before, which was kind of like, I'm like, whoa, she's carrying me flowers the second time. It's kind of like really nice, you know. I totally really get it why people like it. So, but really, you don't have to bring flowers. For the guy, it will be such a great pleasure to actually see you in person, even if you don't have anything, you know. And because it's hard to like remember everything, you know. Obviously your anxiety kicks in, and just make sure, you know, to get like essentials, like some money so you can get back, and you know, don't get too late, you know. Obviously try to be there on time. Because it's kind of hard, especially for the foreigner, if you come out from this dark, from the bright, you know, hallway, and then it's kind of dark, and then all the hecklers come towards you asking for if you need a ride. So it's quite confusing, especially if you've never been to Kenya. I'll probably record separate video on how to pass customs and stuff, especially for Westerners. So I went, showed up. What he said doesn't mean you shouldn't make some effort. I found myself also enjoying like receiving him, of course, for the second time, because I didn't have any anxiety. I was just like looking forward. But it's also nice to do something for your significant other that makes them happy, because he's coming all the way, he's tired. Just a nice gesture, little surprise, it
doesn't have to be costly, just chocolate, something, just something.
Whatever you guy likes, you know. I'm sure by that time you will know his kind of like, you know, things that he likes doing or enjoying. I'm not sure about ice cream, to be honest with you, because it's really hot in Kenya, so it will start melting, and you don't want to like get that ice cream all over him when you hug him. So maybe like flowers or like candy or chocolate bar or something like this, you know.
Just think about it.
Or just
we're just throwing ideas.
Or maybe just hug him, you know. That's probably the best thing for me.
That one is a must anyway. So I was standing there video calling with Felicia, and then like I see his call, and I was like, Felicia, goodbye, let me see. And then he was like, oh, I'm still waiting for the customs, then we come. And of course, when I see the phone call, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's now coming out. Oh my God. And I'm thinking,
yeah, those last seconds,
you know,
right?
like, yeah, and your heart is like, no, this is it. And the last call that he gave me, I actually like, picked my call from, like, I'd say 10 meters away from where he was standing, and I could hear him saying, oh, I'm waiting for my girlfriend. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's me. And I ran towards him, and he's still talking to me, like we are hugging and talking, and we forgot even to hang up like on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so nice, you know, like by this point I knew so much about him. Like I knew he was 5'8", I knew his name, I knew about his parents, I knew about his family. I knew so much, but I didn't. It's like knowing so much about someone, but you
dots, right?
don't know this person like in person. And then like I meet this person, and
that's a very I wouldn't say weird, but kind of like very surreal experience.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you know someone for like 6 months, like in our case, but then you don't know them. You know, it's like you've never met before.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you rarely experience this like in normal interactions, right? And especially this person that you love, you know, and it's kind of like, it's almost like you're hugging. Like for me, I'm hugging and kind of like almost kissing this hot chick that ran up to me, you know. It's like that I've never seen before, like in person, you know. It's kind of like weird emotions. You can't really explain it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was obviously the joy went through the roof, and you know, for me, I can hardly remember some of the interactions, like how we got to the Airbnb and like the rest of the evening, because you know I haven't slept for like 30 hours. I slept a little bit, so some of it is a blur. But definitely seeing her for the first time, it's definitely worth it. Obviously, that's the person you love, and you know, you want to meet, and you know, you've been waiting for so long, and all the preparations and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, like meeting her is definitely like an icing on the cake, because it's just like totally completed the circle, you know.
Yeah. And for me, it was a very calming thing. Like when I saw him and ran towards him, like all my anxiety went. Like, you know how it's like someone lifted your burdens off. I felt secure. I felt safe. I even remembered the knives that, okay.
What? Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, let me tell you something. Like that Airbnb had knives. Like you guys know the set of knives that Airbnbs have.
Yeah, like a lot of them in the...
I looked at them when I walked in, and I was like, yeah, this could be part of the news. So I hid them somewhere under, so that even if he's trying to harm me, guys, it's just so silly to think about it right now, but that's the best I could have done for myself.
Well, you know, I totally get it, you know, and especially guys, you know, you have to understand that women, they're disadvantaged in this case because they're weaker than us, right?
Yeah.
Physically, plus there's so many like bad news about guys abusing women physically and in any other case. So I totally understand. It might, you know, even though however much we laugh about the knife incident, it's probably safer to keep, you know, these things away just in case, you know, because again, even though again you went through like all the preparation phase like of 6 months, but who the heck knows, you know? So seriously, I'm totally with her on that subject. The funny thing from my standpoint, so when I came and I, you know, obviously dealt with the jet lag and kind of, you know, woke up, and then I was trying to make breakfast, and I'm like, what is wrong with this house? There's no knives in here, you know? And then she confessed later on, like, yeah, they do have knives, I just hid them. But yeah.
So yeah, like, but I remember that instant at the airport. It's like something reassuring. Like seeing you in person kind of took off all the anxiety and all the thoughts that this guy could kill me, or it just like ended. And that's how we started. Okay, we stayed at the Airbnb. Okay, the rest of the story we are going to make it into several other parts. But yeah, that's how we started. Being
so
together.
Yeah, you can probably have that feeling, you know. Well, in the worst case scenario, you would feel something off about meeting the person.
Yeah.
But if you are comfortable, like let's say I was with her and I hope she was with me, it's kind of like the best case scenario.
Yeah.
So you know that everything will be fine. Obviously, you might have some disagreements, certain things might not work right, but you know, as long as you kind of love each other and in the most part, you really kind of like connect and, you know, with her or with him, that's ideal kind of situation.
Yeah, that's actually something else that we should talk about later. You have to know, like, you people are coming from two totally different culture, and I know this is something that people ignore, and you want to you want to assume that love is going to write off all your cultural differences, and sometimes you may disagree over something small that someone else misunderstood, because like different cultures, of course, things mean different things to different people, like even words, just words mean totally different.
We made a couple videos on the subject, you know, like there are things, you know, obviously if you meet someone from your own culture, you'll be closely related in that sense.
But you still have some differences because of being brought up in different environments. So just don't when you meet someone, just try to understand where someone is coming from and what's going through their mind, so that you don't also jump into conclusions. Oh, she is this, he is that. So I think
absolutely, and good luck, guys. You know, that's kind of like big plunge that both of you are making, and you know, again, try to be understanding on both sides. You know, like obviously for the guy, you have to understand that you're a guest. You know, don't try to bring your own, you know, views or politics or none of that stuff, you know. Just kind of like try to understand the culture, and from the standpoint of the person that's receiving the guest, try to understand that they flew a long way, they're dealing with jet lag. Now for people that didn't travel, jet lag is when your time is basically off. In my case, we had like a 10-hour difference. So basically when it's night for you, it's day here. So you'll be definitely, you know, fighting with the jet lag for at least a week, depending on your age. You know, if you're like very young, you'll get over it probably within a couple days. That might be a different video, how to fight jet lag. So maybe search on YouTube, maybe we'll record one. But it's a nasty thing, you know. It's basically when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep, and then you fall asleep like at 1 p.m. So so try to be understanding of all that stuff. And and just hopefully it will work out for you, you know. It's like the best, I think. Plus it's so amazing when you come to a different culture, and you know, like in this case Kenya, really warm, wonderful people, good, you know, food. I still can't get enough of all of that stuff, you know. And obviously number one on the list is your significant other. So and hopefully it will work out for you as it did for us.
And most of all, have fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Look for ways to have fun. So I think that's it for our story.
That's a short story. Obviously, it will work differently for everyone else. It doesn't mean that it will work exactly like that for you. So and we'll try to record more technical videos for you to help, you know, if you want to make this plunge. So if you want to follow us, just, you know, check the channel or subscribe, I guess, if you want to get notified, and we'll do our best to share our experience.
Thank you so much for watching to this point, and also if you're coming for the first time, make sure you subscribe and like this video, comment, let us know like, the part that you enjoyed the most. Also, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Shironjuguna, and until next time, you guys, have a good one.